I'm sorry, I kind of just flashed that up there, forgot I was live. Let's just put the itinerary up for like a little bit longer. And my mic was muted. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to KO Bets. My name is Bill. This is the show where we discuss upcoming betting strategies for UFC events. Like I said, my name is Bill. I'm here to provide you with some entertainment, help make you some money. Before we get started, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate the support tremendously. We've got an NFT giveaway. We're at 65 subscribers. At 100, we're going to do an NFT giveaway. So, another incentive to subscribe. Let's see. Last week, we had a really solid week. UFC 291, that was Gaethje taking on Poirier, the second meeting of those two. And Gaethje. Good prediction. So we had Gaethje, we had Alex Pereira. We did take Derek Lewis. Bobby Green we chose. Kevin Holland we chose. Bonfim. CJ Vergara. Roman Kopylov. Jake Matthews. I took Semmelsberger, Medic one. And I took, Miranda Maverick. So it was a really, really good week. Really solid week. Cashed in on a lot of lines there. But we've got a new week to go over. Sandhagen taking on Font. So I think it's Umar Nurmagomedov. Ooh. Drinking something stiff. Had to drop out of this, experienced some sort of injury. So Font is stepping in here. It's not like super late notice, so has had, I think, plenty of time to get ready. And I'm in a good spot here for Font. But let's start with the prelims. I'm not sure if a fight dropped off, because oh, there it is. Yeah, the Sean Woodson line is back. Earlier when I was doing my research, it was gone, so I wasn't sure if it got canceled or something. 1 second. Oh, that's a squeaky toy. I thought it was a cat meowing. Odi Osborne taking on Asu Almabayev. Odi Osborne's on a one-fight win streak. Probably the better striker in this matchup. He's taking on Asu, who's coming in here, making his UFC debut. Very strong grappler, national champion for Kazakhstan. Really, you gotta expect Asu to bring a grapple-heavy approach with those credentials. Odi Osborne looked really good against Charles Johnson, his last fight. Charles Johnson just didn't have output to really compete with Odi in that fight, and Odi was also able to secure takedowns. Looked a little bit tired towards the end, but Johnson's got really good cardio. This fight's interesting. One I'm probably going to stay away from. It's interesting in a few ways. Like, Odi's not a bad fighter, but Asu's coming in here on his debut with favorite odds. And I think it comes down to just that grappling ability. If he's able to get Odie down, he's going to control him. He's going to be the minute winner. So it's up to Odie to keep this fight standing and strike with this guy. Is Odie going to be able to do that? I'm not confident enough to put my money behind him. So I'm going to roll with the Sue here on the money line. Not confident enough to hang 192 on a dude making his debut against Odie, but odds makers don't think this goes the distance. I would say if it's Sue wins, I like the decision method of victory. I haven't really checked Odie's recent losses to see. I think he's pretty durable. KO punches, KO flying knee, submission loss to Brian Kelleher. So yeah, I mean, I would go with the decision, but maybe there's a little value on the submission. I don't know. It's probably just a line I'm gonna stay away from. The next fight we've got is Cody Durden taking on Jake Hadley. Cody Durden, cool dude, 3-fight win streak, fan favorite. Is really good on the mic, entertaining, good wrestler, good cardio. He's taking on Jake Hadley, who's on a 2-fight win streak, and I think it's overall a tough matchup for Cody Durden. Yeah, he's got the wrestling, but we saw Jake Hadley against Alan Nascimento, and I believe he went to a decision against him. And Alan, I don't know, as of late, Alan has just kind of been swarming with his takedown ability and approach there. Very good grappler, obviously, and Jake had some good moments in the grappling department there. Just got controlled a little bit too long. But I think Cody Durden, this is a better opponent for Jake Hadley, who's just going to be a lot more technical, faster, crisp on the feet, good boxer. And it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, does Cody Durden take him down early? If he does, I feel really confident casting that Durden bet. But I think Jake Hadley's going to win this one. I think he's able to keep it on the feet. I think he's able to cause a lot of damage on the feet. And I think he takes a decisive decision in this matchup. The odds makers like Jake Hadley, minus 192 as well. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. They like the Jake Hadley submission. I'm not so sure this plays out in the grappling department. I don't know. I know Jake Hadley has very good jiu-jitsu, but I don't really. I feel like there's more of an advantage on the feet for him. So I think there's some value on the fading that submission for Jake Hadley if you're on his side. Yeah, I think he wins pretty decisively, to be honest, and I think it's a decision though. I think it's a decision. The next bout is Sean Woodson taking on Dennis Bazukja. Sean Woodson, very, very tall fighter. He had a draw his last fight, and then before that he was on a 2-fight win streak. Yeah, he's a tall fighter. He's taking on Dennis. We're going to pull up the SureDog. I know I thought he was making his debut, but maybe he's previously fought. Oh, so he was on Contender Series. He just didn't get invited twice. Both decisions. Interesting. But Sean Woodson, very tall boxer, I think if Dennis is going to win this fight, it'll do him well to go for takedowns and to secure those takedowns. I think if this fight stays standing, Sean Woodson's going to look really good on the feet. That's just my feeling here. I'm going to roll with Sean Woodson to win this fight. I'm going to say he gets it done via knockout. Odds makers, it's a pick 'em basically. And I like the Sean Woodson knockout. If he's able to keep the fight standing. I think if he doesn't keep it standing, there's a good chance he probably loses this one. The next fight we've got is Jeremiah Wells taking on Carlston Harris. Jeremiah Wells, he's 4-0 in the UFC. And Carlston Harris, he's on a 1-fight win streak in the UFC. Both of these guys are really powerful strikers, hit extremely hard, and both of these guys are really good grapplers too. I think stylistically, just how these fighters go for finishes, I think a popular bet I've seen is just something inside the distance for whichever fighter you like here. It's going to be a really close fight, but I think Jeremiah Wells is going to win this. I'm a big fan of the pressure, the cardio I've seen thus far from Jeremiah Wells. I think it's kind of whoever gets hit. Someone's going to get hit hard early, but I've just been very impressed with Jeremiah Wells. I think where Carlston presents a different challenge is just the fact that he's also a really good grappler. But I think Jeremiah Wells might be even better. That's just my personal opinion. Jeremiah Wells, I forget what fight it was. It might have been the... might have been Court McGee. Not Court McGee. I don't know. We've just seen some good takedowns by him. He's very powerful. Maybe it was the Worley Elvis fight. Was that on the April 10th card? No, June 26th. But I'm a big fan of Jeremiah Wells. I think he's a really good overall fighter, and I think he's going to be a problem. He's at minus 125 odds. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. I mean, if you don't like it to go the distance, why not go with the minus 1.5, under 1.5? Because it's way better odds than what's flashed up here at the minus, over under at 2.5. I think if it ends early, it's probably even round 1. I think round 1 knockout is probably going to be a popular bet. Plus 260. It's not a bad idea. But I'm going to roll with Jeremiah Wells. So far, I like Jake Hadley moneyline. I like Sean Woodson moneyline. I like, I guess, the under in this fight. But nothing really sticks out as a parlay piece so far for me. Kyler Phillips taking on Raoni Barcelos. Kyler Phillips is on a 1-fight win streak, but he's coming off of a layoff due to suspension. Raoni Barcelos, he's on a 1-fight losing streak. He's 1-3 in his last 4. Just hasn't looked good as of late. Is getting hurt. This is one. I mean, there's a lot of really good fights on this card. This is one I've kind of been back and forth on because I think Raoni does possess the tools to win this. Kyler Phillips, he does like to grapple. You can see those 3.32 takedowns per 15 minutes. I don't think he's going to take down Raoni Barcelos at any point in this fight, so I think this is going to play out primarily on the feet, and it could be really close, and kind of a difficult fight for Kyler Phillips, who's coming back. I struggle to put money on Raoni, though. Just given the record as of late. And I'm back and forth on this one. But I think Kyler Phillips eventually catches Raoni Barcelos and hurts him. I think Raoni Barcelos could be the minute winner early, but I think eventually Kyler Phillips finds the button and knocks out Raoni Barcelos. Odds makers like this to go the distance. It's close though, and they like the Kyler Phillips decision. I would say Barcelos decision, or maybe even if it does go to a decision, like split decision, just because I do think it's going to play out on the feet and be close. And then I like Kyler Phillips KO, though, is going to be my prediction. The next fight we've got is Billy Quarantillo taking on Damon Jackson. Billy Quarantillo brings a really exciting fight style. Just incredible output. Almost 8 strikes a minute. Is kind of reckless though, right? Gets hit. But the pressure is a huge problem for any opponent, regardless of how good they are. You got to do what Edson Barbosa did, right? Just take advantage of kind of the reckless entries and the lack of defense, and you have to be precise with your shots. And, you know, I've been kind of back and forth on this one. It's tough to go with Damon Jackson, but the Jackson versus Sabatini fight 2 fights ago, where he had wasn't it a flying knee that he had? It was a little bit crazy. And just seeing Billy Q get KO'd his last fight, I'm like maybe Damon Jackson can take advantage of the kind of reckless approach of Billy Quarantillo. Even his guillotines and submission prowess, Damon Jackson is really, really good. He kind of seems like the type of guy who could potentially catch Billy Quarantillo, but I think just recency bias going in here, seeing Jackson get KO'd his last fight. I think Billy Quarantillo, and Jackson does slow down, does have shaky cardio. So I think Billy Q, the longer this fight goes, obviously takes over. I think Billy Q probably puts Damon Jackson out of there. I really like an inside the distance bet in this fight, Billy Quarantillo against Damon Jackson. And that's where I'm at. I'm going to go with Billy Q, minus 180, probably to get the KO. Odds makers don't like this to go the distance. KO is plus 140. Damon Jackson, they like the decision, but yeah, I think if Damon Jackson wins this fight, I doubt he can wrestle him for 15 minutes. I think he's going to have to catch him with something, or maybe get him with one of those slick guillotines. But Billy Q, KO, round 2, round 3. Somewhere in there. Next fight we've got is Ignacio Bahamondes, with one of the funnest names to say in the UFC. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He's taking on Ludovic Klein, who's coming off of a draw. Prior to that, he was on a 2-fight win streak. Ludovic has a very entertaining stand-up style. I think he keeps his hands pretty low, and yeah, as a result, he's very prone to being hit. But he's got a lot of cool kicks. Not that Ignacio Bahamondes doesn't. He's also a very good striker, has a lot of kicks, has good cardio, is aggressive, huge frame on the dude, 6'3", going against 5'7". Is 5'7", Are those high kicks going to pay dividends against a guy like Bahamondes? I'm not so sure. I think Ignacio has all the tools to win this. I really like Ignacio Bahamondes in this fight. I'm kind of curious Ludovic Klein's losses, if he's had many KO losses. Nothing in the UFC by the looks of it. Man, it's tough for me to say, like, the KO, but I kind of think the KO's in play here, just because we see Ludovic Klein slow down, and Ignacio is just super dangerous. So I kind of like the Ignacio finish in this fight. The odds makers don't, however. So Ignacio, heavy favorite, I think rightfully so. Fight to go the distance, it's basically a pick'em. So they like the Ignacio Bahamondes decision, but I think he could be the first person to KO Ludovic in the UFC, just because he is dangerous. Tanner Boser taking on Aleksa Kamur. This is at 205. I'm saying that because Tanner was a heavyweight a couple fights ago. Tanner's on a 2-fight losing streak. He's 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Aleksa, he's on a 2-fight losing streak, and he's coming off of a long layoff. If Tanner Boser doesn't win this fight, you cut him. You cut him from the UFC, because he just hasn't shown a lot of ability to win fights thus far. I think he's quick. He's a good stand-up fighter. But if Aleksa wants to win this fight, just grapple this dude. Just wrestle him. He doesn't have good takedown defense. Once he gets taken down, he doesn't have the ability to stand up. I think that's how you beat Tanner Boser if you're Aleksa. Aleksa's way less experienced, and for that reason, I'm going to roll with Tanner, but Tanner does not deserve your money. So I would just encourage you not to hang money on Tanner Boser, just given what we've seen from him thus far. He is the favorite at -148. Do we think the fight will go the distance? Gosh. I think so. Tanner's got some KO prowess, so does this guy. 1 and 2 in decisions. Man. I don't know. Maybe just a fight I'm avoiding altogether, even for the over-under round robin. I'm going to roll with Tanner to get it done via decision. But I'm not betting on this one. The next fight we've got is Diego Lopez taking on Gavin Tucker. Diego Lopez looks like he's about to he looks like he's about to roll up into the Apex or wherever this is. Oh, Nashville. They're in Nashville. He's about to roll into Nashville with like all black on, black painted fingernails instead of the Vaseline. They're gonna put eyeshadow on, and he's gonna be like, don't mess up my eyeshadow, and he's about to sing the Black Parade in a country town. You know what I mean? It's a crazy look. He looks like what's that guy? Stefan? Yeah. Yeah, he looks like Stefan. Right? taking on Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker is coming off of a big layoff. Last fight, KO lost to Dan Ige in March of 2021. So he's coming off of a big layoff. If there wasn't that layoff there, I kind of feel better about making a prediction on this fight. Diego Lopez lost to a very good opponent in Masayev, right? In his debut. Unanimous decision loss. Lost to a very good opponent. Both of these guys are really good grapplers. I think the difference is going to be just in the power that shows up on the feet. Gavin Tucker is very savvy as a striker, and I think he could be the minute winner in this fight if it does play out on the feet, but I just kind of like Diego Lopez and his power in this fight. I think that'll show through. Output-wise, I do kind of expect Gavin to be the better fighter output-wise, and then grappling-wise, gosh, I mean, Diego Lopez is a really, really accomplished Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu artist, and I don't know, I think this is a close fight. I feel like if I had another fight or two from Gavin Tucker between, here and 2.5 years ago, I'd feel better about it. I think Diego Lopez is also much younger, is another thing. Gavin Tucker's in his late 30s at this point, and I believe Diego Lopez is still in his he's in his late 20s. I'm going to go with Diego Lopez here. I think he's taken a step down, arguably, in competition, and he you don't want to put a lot of stock into losses, but he wasn't awful, right? Diego Lopez is the favorite at -175. Oddsmakers don't like this to go the distance. They like the Diego Lopez submission. Interesting. I don't agree with that. I think we could get just a very close decision between both fighters. Trying to see the splitter majority decision line. Maybe that's fight props. Plus 650. Yeah, just with the layoff with Gavin Tucker, I don't really feel great about that fight, but I'm going to roll with Diego Lopez in that fight. The next bout we've got is Dustin Jacoby taking on Kennedy Njoku. Kennedy's coming off of a 3-fight win streak. Dustin Jacoby's on a 2-fight losing streak. Kennedy's trying to break into that top 15. Jacoby, very good kickboxer, good output, good leg kicks. Kennedy, just an awfully big human being. 6'5", big frame, big reach, big power behind those straight punches. Also showed really good grappling ability his last fight. I think Kennedy's kind of putting it together. It's apple juice. Ooh, and spicy. And I think he's kind of putting it all together. I'm rolling with Kennedy in this fight. I'm feeling pretty good about it. I don't know if I should. Dustin Jacoby could be a minute winner, but I'm going to roll with Kennedy to win this fight. I don't know if he's going to grapple. I think that would be really smart. I don't know if he's just going to try and knock him out. I think stand-up wise, if he's going to keep it standing, it could be a close fight. Dustin, I think, has better output. Kennedy's shots will be harder, but I kind of feel best about the money line here. yeah, I kind of just feel best about the money line as opposed to an over-under prediction. But I'm going to roll with Kennedy in that fight. Kennedy knockout is what I'd say, but as far as money placement goes, I'm probably eyeballing that. I'm just going back and selecting some of the lines I liked. Just in case you're just tuning in now, you can kind of see how I feel about some of this. And I'll tell you what, I'll move my head right here. And that just works out best for everyone, right? Oh, yeah. That's slick. Alright, the next fight we've got is Jessica Andrade. So Jessica Andrade, to me, she looks like SNL Beaver. Kate McKinnon. That's who... That's who Jessica Andrade looks like to me. Or what she reminds me of. It's Kate McKinnon Beaver. She's on a 2-fight losing streak. She's taken on Tatiana Suarez. Suarez, just impressive thus far in the UFC. 6-0. Grapple heavy. Just seems like a monster. Jessica Andrade, you know, I don't know really what's going on, you know. I was really high on her and as a fighter, and then I don't know. We've just haven't had good luck in our last 2 fights. So she gets just wrestle-effed by Blanchfield to a submission, and then she gets KO'd against Yan. But man, she's so talented. I think she's such a talented fighter. In this fight, I think it's going to serve her best to just keep it standing. But just after that Blanchfield fight, I think the grapple heavy approach of Tatiana Suarez, I think it's going to be an issue. And for that reason, I'm rolling with Tatiana Suarez here. But I mean, odds minus 375. I can't justify that. They like the under. They like the Suarez submission. I mean, and I think Blanchfield's better than Suarez, but I don't know. It's tough to say. I think Jessica Andrade hasn't gone the distance since her last win, right? And that was a decision against Murphy. But lots of finishes on her resume, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2 in her last 8 are decisions. So I think we've got to like the prowess of this one to potentially end inside the distance with that submission. 3 out of her 6 fights have ended via submission. Tatiana Suarez. Yeah, I guess I kind of like inside the distance and Tatiana. I don't know if I feel, super good about picking the KO or, it could be ground and pound. So maybe minus 150. Maybe. But I kind of feel like the line is just off-putting. It's got me priced out of it. I'd rather hang... What is that? $5 on Jessica Andrade to win and lose, than hang 15 on Tatiana, or 16 probably even. No, it's 15.50. 1, 2, 3, 4, What the fuck? Yeah, so 1559. There's just so much better value on Jessica Andrade for tomorrow's fight, and I'm not rolling with it. Corey Sandhagen taking on Rob Font. I think this is the easiest prediction on the card. Rob Font's a very good boxer, great jab. I think Sandhagen's got it, though. He's just been very impressive in his last few fights in the UFC. He arguably... I thought he beat Cheeto, to be honest. He did beat Cheeto. I thought he beat Jan, arguably. He lost to Dillashaw, but he arguably beat Dillashaw, too. The dude's just... He's an animal. He's really good, dynamic as a striker, and I think he hurts Rob Font. I think he hurts Rob Font, who can take... He's tough. Never been knocked out. But I'm not banking on his durability in this 5-round fight. I think Sandhagen wins. He is the heavy favorite. I think he does it inside the distance. I gotta check what the what y'all voted for. Oh, and you didn't vote. But yeah, I'm gonna roll with Corey Sandhagen here. I think he gets a. I'm gonna roll with Corey Sandhagen via KO. I think he gets the KO. The KO decision are priced the same. I'm not banking on Rob Font to be super durable in this fight. I think he gets caught with something, gets caught bad. John Callahan, how long is it typically between the fights for each guy? When did they start preparing for the next match? 6 months or less? I mean, I guess it depends how long their training camp is. I think a typical training camp is something like 3 months. So there's a lot of 6 week camps. I feel like 12 weeks is what a lot of fighters go for, though. So they can, but it's tough to say, because there's fighters, like there's, I think, one on this card who's, or maybe not on this card, maybe it was PFL, but this weekend, but you know, there's fighters who step in the week of to take a fight, and it's pretty crazy. So I think, you know, I'd made that comment earlier in the night. I don't think Rob Font's gonna, like, he's got tremendous cardio. I don't think he's gonna display any sort of conditioning issues, but I think Corey Sandhagen's just much better as a fighter. I like the Corey Sandhagen money line as a parlay piece. I like the KO maybe as a straight up bet piece. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, but it's tough to say. I would say 12 weeks is probably pretty good, especially for the dudes who have to cut a significant amount of weight to make their division. Some of these guys are weight bullies, so if they could shave off 10 pounds, you know, in a month or whatever, it's just from training, it's beneficial to them. They can also get some hard sparring in earlier in the fight camp. The earlier they start, the later you get into the camp, it turns into more like conditioning, explosiveness, and less about, you get less of that hard combat. But there's just some insane fighters. There's fighters, you know, and this is a little bit different. There will be fighters who will fight one weekend and fight again in the next week, or next month, you know. So I think it just depends on what these guys do when they're not in fight camp. Are they in shape? Are they training? What's going on? Good question though, Jen. Let's see. Let's explore. I guess this Twitch streamer had like some sort of giveaway, and it just got out of hand. All these kids in New York, they just got out of hand. I don't think he got arrested though. Oh.
A lot of patience by the men and women of this. It's some time to push them out. Some were arrested for a variety of different charges, but a lot of patience by the men and women of this department.
All right, Anthony DiLorenzo, Pix 11. Chief, are you going to charge Kai Cenat?
Yes. The influencer is charged. He's going to be charged with multiple counts, at least 2 counts of inciting a riot, unlawful assembly, and a few other charges.
All you had, 10-10 win.
Yikes. That's not good. I mean, yeah, that's really not good for him. Aaron Nola and his agent. What the fuck did Aaron Nola do? Oh my god. Are you kidding me? Washington tied it up. Philadelphia is down. Cardinals are down. You ever just have one of those nights where your picks suck? That's what happened to me tonight, I guess, in MLB. That's okay. Damn, people are mad at him. LA Knight, Severino. What happened with Severino? Just people hating and they start trending. I'm coming after you. Truth Social. If you want to invest in Truth Social, you ticker symbol DWAC. Digital World Acquisition Corp. So, just, you know, this is not financial advice, but, dude, what's up with that? They're not giving it any credit. Yeah, $175 it was at when it's opened up. This is where the SEC opened up their investigation into it, and this is where the SEC lost. So there are a lot of dirty tactics that go on with SPAC offerings, but you know, it got down to $9.84 as the low. $12.34 most recently. It's not bad risk for that kind of, I mean, just to rediscover some of these prices that it's had previously would be tremendous gains, you know. And if you, I mean, it kind of depends on how you feel about the overall economy, for sure. in my opinion. So we could be seeing like this wombo setup. And what I'll say here is, if we just do a horizontal line at this high for the S&P 500, these are the top 5 biggest market caps traded on the New York Stock Exchange. Top 500, sorry. So if you're just looking at that, I mean, it's definitely possible we go back up, but I think this is... I'd watch that 468 level. I think if we go above that, it's just... To me, I just think something's slowed. I think this is... I think the rate hikes have to kick into effect, and I know they kicked in over here, and then the market went down, but they've continuously gone up, right? And I just don't think there's been a reaction yet from the markets. I've got the 100, 200 EMA right here. 13-day, 48-day, and 200-day EMA. I mean, I think we could be heading down, for sure. I think there's gonna be some pullback here, but I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of a crazy market, but if I had to make some sort of prediction, I would say I'd say we're coming down. That's just what I think. Truthfully. Not trying to be a hater. That's what I think, though. Flowers in the attic. What the fuck is that? A lot of MLB stuff trending. What's in the news? Disney. Did Disney have their earnings today? Oh, it says this week is an important week for Disney. Yeah, so Disney's been making a bunch of movies that have been losing a lot of money. Holy cow. This is like... We might get a chance to get Disney at $20 again. $40. That'd be nice, huh? I think some of these companies just overextended themselves. You know, they got the streaming platform. How many... I don't know how many players can exist in that space, but... I don't know. I watched the new Guardians. I have Disney Plus because I have ESPN Plus for UFC, but it's interesting. I don't know what half this stuff is. Sports. Nate Diaz. Oh, he's fighting Jake Paul. What do you guys think about that? Do you feel strongly either way? One's gonna win or one's not gonna win? MMA fans when Jake Paul is up by 7 rounds and all Nate Diaz is doing is pointing at him, calling him a bitch. Oh, you guys can't hear that.
Hey, love, I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow. Let's don't forget, this motherfucker can't really fight. Motherfucker. Hey, love, I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow.
Nate's so funny.
With the one and only, the pride of Stockton, California, the pride of the
Oh, we gotta explore something right after
about
this.
to make his pro boxing debut. Nate, what is the message to all these people? This sounds like Diaz country here. It sounds like there's a lot of fans of yours here coming to support you. What is your final message to them and to your opponent, Jake Paul, on Saturday night?
Hey, shout out to everybody for the love and support. Appreciate everybody coming out. With love. And let's, no matter how the fight goes, let's don't forget, this motherfucker can't really fight. Motherfucker. Fuck you. Hey, love, I'll see you next time. See you tomorrow.
Make some noise!
So, yeah, Ariel and Hill are beefing, Jamal Hill. And I don't know, guys. I'm kind of on Jamal Hill's side in this whole thing. Hill brought out the receipts. Ariel's calling him a liar. I'll say this. I think when two people are beefing, there's a lot of room to misinterpret and, misconstrue things that are being said. But and not in a good way either, right? But yeah, these two aren't getting along, and I'm kind of on Hill's side. I think that Ariel Helwani, I don't think Hill was unfair, is basically what I'm saying. I don't, and I think Ariel Helwani, his responses have been a little lackluster. He has, no question, a bigger platform, but like what feels palpable in this whole argument is Ariel's basically just wielding his credentials, his power in the media, and he's holding that over Hill, and Hill seems to be busting out more receipts and just seems more real about this whole situation. Yeah, it just seems more real. Ariel was saying like, oh, he had a cordial conversation with Hill, so this is coming out of nowhere. He doesn't know what's wrong with Hill. And Hill basically just told him like, fuck you. We didn't have a cordial conversation. I hate your ass. And so it's kind of, there's no question about it. It's kind of, there's a lot of room for misinterpretation, like I said, in a negative light for both of these sides, but I'm kind of in Hill's camp. I think, and I know I've said it before, I just think Ariel would be a tough dude to work with in any profession. He's kind of a bitch sometimes, and really, really You know, and kind of deservingly so, because I'm sure he went through a lot, just in his experience with sport. But just seems very invested in himself and not in others. Thanks for tuning in. Before I sign off, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you tuning in. Good luck tomorrow if you want. I think the prelims, I'm going to be doing something like going to some events, so I might miss the prelims, but I'll for sure watch the main event. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'm going to try and get out, play some golf on Sunday. And besides that, I'm just watching fights, chilling. Hope you have a good weekend. Peace. Oh, and go Nate Diaz. He's plus 290, right? I don't know. I don't think it's great odds, but it's not awful, right?